The moon called Anvil 7 was a bad place to live. It was a big, gray rock used for digging up metals. The air was always full of dust from the machines. The sky was never blue, only black or the dirty orange color of the nearby gas giant. The buildings were made from old ship parts and broken mining equipment. Everyone who lived here was human. A long time ago, their home, Earth, had joined a big space empire. The empire was very strong. They said humans could live in space, but only as workers. The humans on Anvil 7 were those workers. They dug and sorted and shipped metals. They were forgotten by almost everyone. Min was the chief engineer. He was a man with rough hands and a tired face. He had come from a city called Bizan on Earth many years ago. Now, his world was the rusty machines and broken conveyor belts of Anvil 7. He stood on a metal walkway, looking at the latest problem. A main grinder was stuck again. He didn't look up when he heard the footsteps. "Min, sir, you need to see this." The voice belonged to June. June was young, maybe 20. He was smart with computers and wires, but his eyes always looked a little scared. Min turned. He saw the fear on June's face first. Then he looked up where June was pointing. High above the dusty moon, the stars were being blotted out. Big, sharp shapes were moving into view. They were dark gray and covered with weapons. They looked like knives made for space. Min knew what they were instantly. Imperial warships. His stomach felt cold. A loud, buzzing voice came from every speaker on the moon. It was not a human voice. It was flat and sharp. Anvil 7 Mining Colony. This is the Imperial Fifth Fleet. You are in violation of production quotas. Your output is insufficient. You will triple your output immediately. All non-essential life support power will be diverted to the main smelters. Compliance is mandatory. The voice stopped. The silence that followed was worse. Min looked around at the other workers who had come out of the buildings. He saw Yuna, who managed their supplies and food. Her face was pale. Next to her was Ji-Hei, who kept records and studied old files. Ji-Hei was looking at the ships with a strange look, not just fear, but like she was remembering something. June spoke quietly. "They will kill us. They will say the equipment failed. Or they will just shoot us for being too slow. They have done it before." He was right. The Empire did not care about human workers. Humans were useful for their hands, not their lives. Min had heard stories of other colonies that disappeared after an accident. Yuna walked over, her steps quick. "We don't have the power to triple output. Our reactors are old. If we divert life support, people in the lower dormitories will suffocate in 2 days." "Then we have 2 days," Ji-Hei said softly. She was still looking at the biggest ship. "That is what they have given us." Min did not answer right away. He was not looking at the fleet anymore. He was looking past the main mining yard, toward the oldest part of the colony. Everyone called it the Dead Zone. It was a giant, sealed hangar dug into the side of a mountain. It was from the very first days, when humans first came to this moon. His grandfather had been one of those first humans. Before he died, he gave Min a strange, rusty metal key. He told him a story. The Empire said it was a failure, his grandfather had whispered. They said our science was wrong. They made us bury it. They were afraid. Remember, Min, it is not dead. It is sleeping. Its name is Mulsori. For 50 years, Min had ignored the story. It was a fairy tale for a lonely old man. The hangar was just a tomb for a broken old ship, a piece of human shame. But now, looking at the Imperial fleet, shame was not useful. A fairy tale was better than nothing. "June," Min said, his voice low, "go to the main power junction. Get me 3 portable generator cells. The big ones. June blinked. To fix the grinder? No, Min said. To open Hangar Zero. Yuna stared at him. Hangar Zero? That's a waste dump. It's sealed by Imperial order. The penalty for opening it is death. The penalty for everything is death today, Min said. He started walking toward the old hangar. Ji-hei, you come with me. You know the old languages, the old codes. Yuna, keep everyone calm. Tell them to work slow. Buy us time. The walk to Hangar Zero was long. The path was overgrown with rusty pipes and forgotten machinery. The huge door of the hangar was covered in layers of gray dust and old warning signs. The signs said things like condemned and structural hazard, and by order of the Imperial Science Directorate. Ji-hei brushed the dust off a small metal plate next to the door. There's an access panel here, but it's not for a code. Look. She pointed. There was a simple physical keyhole. It was old and clogged with dirt. Min pulled the heavy key from his pocket. It was warm from his skin. He blew on the keyhole and pushed the key in. It fit perfectly. He turned it. It was stiff, but with a gritty crunch, it turned all the way. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, deep underground, they felt a vibration. A hum so low, it was more a feeling in their bones than a sound. The giant doors, with a scream of metal that had not moved in a century, began to slide apart. Dust fell like rain from the ceiling. Inside was darkness. Min and Ji-hei turned on their lights. The beams cut through the black to reveal a shape. It was a ship, but it was like no ship they had ever seen. Imperial ships were smooth and sharp and threatening. This was blocky, uneven. One side looked different from the other. It was covered in thick gray dust, but they could see panels and strange, curved parts. It did not look like it could fly. It looked like a strange building someone had left here. It's ugly, Ji-hei whispered. Maybe, Min said. He walked closer, his light playing over the hull. Near the front, he saw faded letters. He wiped the dust away. The words were in old-style English, and below it, in Hangul, Mulsori. Echo, Ji-hei translated. As they stood there, a light flickered on the ship's surface. A single blue line glowed along its side. Then another. Then a whole pattern of soft blue light spread across the hull, like veins waking up. The low hum grew louder, becoming a gentle, steady thrum. A section of the hull near them dissolved, not opening like a door, but fading away into nothing, creating a perfect entrance. A warm, yellow light spilled out. Min looked at Ji-hei. She nodded, her eyes wide. Together, they stepped inside the Echo. The inside of the ship was nothing like the rust and dust outside. The air was warm and clean. The walls were a smooth, pale gray color that gave off a soft light. Min and Ji-hei stood in a small round room. The opening behind them faded back into a solid wall. There was no sound except for the low hum. "Hello?" Min said. His voice sounded loud in the quiet. A gentle voice answered. It came from everywhere and nowhere. It did not sound like a machine. It sounded calm, like a person. "Welcome. Pilot synchronization required. Please state your names for the record." Ji-hei looked at Min. He nodded. "I am Min. This is Ji-hei. Genetic scan confirms Min, descendant of primary custodian Park, and Ji-hei, non-lineal human. Welcome. I am Mulsori. You may call me Echo." A door appeared in the far wall, sliding open without a sound. Beyond it was a larger room. In the center was a chair, like a pilot's seat. In front of it were screens, but they were blank. All around the room were patterns of light, moving slowly like water. "What is this place?" Ji-hei asked, walking forward. She touched a wall. It was warm. "I am Earth's first warp vessel prototype, Mark 1, the voice said. "My core function is exploration and protection of human life." "War vessel?" Min said, his heart sinking. He had hoped for a fast ship, something to run away in. "Not another weapon." "No," the voice corrected. "Protection. My systems are built on harmony, not conflict. I was deactivated after the first treaty with the Galactic Authority. My technology was deemed non-compliant." Ji-hei's eyes lit up. She hurried to a console where lights had begun to glow. Non-compliant. That's the word they always used in the old reports. They said the prototype failed its tests. But they lied. Her fingers flew over the smooth surface, which responded to her touch. Symbols and writing flowed across the screen. It was in an old form of Korean, mixed with scientific symbols she had studied. It didn't fail. "Look at this, Min. It doesn't use element 0 cores. It doesn't use plasma ignition. It's power source. It's a resonance chamber. It uses sound." "Sound?" Min walked over, confused. "Sound to do what?" "To do everything," Ji-hei whispered, reading faster. "To move. To create a field around the ship. To interact with matter. It doesn't fight the laws of physics. It sings to them. And they change." The ship's voice, Echo, spoke again. "The principle is empathetic vibration. All matter has a natural frequency. All energy is a wave. One can listen to these frequencies. I can match them. Or I can change them." Just then, a worried voice crackled from Min's belt radio. It was June. "Min, the Empire is hailing us again. They are demanding a progress report on the increased mining. Yuna is talking to them, but they sound angry. They are targeting a scanner array on the North Ridge. I think they are going to blow it up to scare us." On the main screen in front of the chair, a picture appeared. It showed the view from outside. The Imperial ships hung in the sky like dark teeth. One small ship had moved away from the main group. A bright light glowed at its front. "They are charging a low-yield plasma cannon," Echo stated. "Target is non-essential infrastructure. Probable intent. Demonstrative force. Can you stop it?" Min asked, without thinking. "Yes," Echo said. The simple word hung in the air. "How?" "By listening," Echo said. The image on the screen zoomed in on the small Imperial ship. Lines of data scrolled next to it. Numbers and waves. Min did not understand them, but Ji-hei leaned forward. "It's reading the energy signature of their weapon, the frequency of their shields, the atomic vibration of their hull metal." All at once, the Imperial ship fired. A bright blue ball of plasma, hot enough to melt rock, shot down toward the north ridge of the moon. Echo did not move, but a low note sounded through the ship. It was a clear, pure tone. On the screen, just before the plasma bolt hit the ground, a shimmering wall appeared. It was not a solid wall. It looked like a heat haze, or like the air above a fire. It was made of thousands of tiny, vibrating hexagons of light. The plasma bolt hit the shimmering wall. It did not explode. Instead, the bolt flattened, spread out, and was absorbed. The hexagons glowed brightly for a second, and then faded. The wall disappeared. The ground below was untouched. Not even the dust was disturbed. In the ship, the low hum grew slightly louder for a moment, then returned to normal. Threat neutralized. Energy converted and stored. Echo reported. Min and Ji-hei stared at the screen, then at each other. Their mouths were open. "What? What was that?" Min managed to say, "A resonance buffer," Ji-hei said, her voice full of wonder. It matched the exact frequency of the plasma energy. When they matched, they canceled each other out. It's not a shield. It's more like perfect noise canceling. But for a weapon, on the radio, June's voice was shouting, "Min, did you see that? Something stopped their shot. It just vanished. What is happening?" Min lifted the radio. "June, listen. Get Yuna. Bring her to Hangar 0. Now, and bring the power cells. We need to talk to this ship." He put the radio down. He looked at the pilot's chair. "Echo, you said you need a pilot." "Correct. A human pilot is required for full activation. The connection is neural. It requires trust and a calm mind." Min was a mechanic. He fixed broken machines. He did not pilot ships. He looked at Ji-hye. She was a historian. She shook her head. "It must be you, Min," she said softly. "Your grandfather was the custodian. The ship knows your blood. It has to be you." Min felt a heavy weight on his shoulders. He thought of the people in the colony. He thought of June's scared face. He thought of the Empire's ships, ready to kill them all. He walked to the chair. It was shaped to fit a human body. He sat down. It was soft, and it seemed to adjust to him. "What do I do?" he asked. "Place your hands on the arms. Relax. I will connect." Echo said. Min placed his hands on smooth panels. They were warm. He took a deep breath and tried to relax. A feeling flowed into him. It was not a sound or a picture. It was a knowing. He suddenly knew how much power was in the ship's core. He could feel the shape of the hangar around them. He could feel the vibrations of the generators June was bringing. He could feel the distant, harsh hum of the Imperial fleet above, like a bad song. It was too much. It was scary. He pulled his hands away, breaking the connection. The feeling vanished. "I can't," he said, breathing hard. "The connection is deep. It is not for control. It is for harmony," Echo said, its voice still calm. "You do not command me. We work together. Try again. Do not fight the feeling. Listen to it." Min looked at Ji-hye. She gave him a small, nervous smile. He nodded. He placed his hands back on the panels. This time, he did not fight. He let the feelings come. The ship's systems were like a complex song. He listened. He did not try to grab the notes. He just heard them. And then he understood. He understood where the engines were. He understood how to think about moving forward, and the ship would respond. It was like learning to move a new part of his own body. A new screen lit up. It showed a simple message. Neural synchronization, 42%. Sufficient for basic operation. "Well done, Min," Echo said. "Now, let us meet your friends. The Empire will not wait long for their next move." The main door of the hangar slid open again, letting in the cold, dusty air of Anvil 7. June and Yuna stood there frozen. Their eyes were huge. Behind them, 3 large power cells floated on a small anti-grav sled. June was staring past Min and Ji-hye at the ship. The Malsori was now fully lit from within, its blue veins glowing softly in the dim hangar. It looked like a sleeping animal made of light and metal. You really did it," Yuna whispered. Her practical mind was fighting with what she saw. "This is the failure? The thing they told us never worked?" "They lied," Ji-hye said, walking over to them. She helped pull the sled in. "It works on a different science. One they didn't like." June rushed to the ship, his fear forgotten for a moment. He touched the hull where the light pulsed. "It's warm. Where are the thrusters? The plasma ports?" He walked around the side, confused. "It has no visible engines. How does it move?" "It sings," Min said, coming down the ramp from the open hatch. He felt different. His head was still full of the soft hum of the ship. "It uses sound waves to push against space itself. Echo says it is like making the universe want to move you. June looked at him like he was crazy. It sings. Before Min could explain, a loud alarm blared across the colony. It was the emergency channel. A harsh Imperial voice replaced it. Anvil 7, your defiance has been noted. The disruption of our disciplinary action is a crime. You will surrender the unknown technology immediately. You have 10 of your minutes to comply, or we will sterilize the colony from orbit. The message repeated. The word sterilize hung in the dusty air. It meant kill everything. Panic shot through Min. He looked at his friends. Yuna's face was tight with fear. June had gone pale again. Ji-hye closed her eyes, thinking fast. 10 minutes, Yuna said. We cannot fight a fleet. Even with this? We are not going to fight, Min said. The idea came from the ship, a quiet thought in the back of his mind. Echo, can you get us out of here? Can you take the colony? All the people? The ship's voice was calm in the hangar. My hangar capacity is for 12 humans. My design is for exploration, not evacuation. Min's hope cracked. They couldn't leave everyone. Then we make them leave, Ji-hye said, opening her eyes. We don't fight the fleet. We talk to them. We show them they cannot hurt us. We make the fight pointless. How? June asked. By proving Echo's shield works. Not just against one shot. Against everything they have. If they see they cannot win, they might leave. Or at least they will talk. Echo's voice spoke again. Analysis of Imperial Fifth Fleet tactics suggests a 97% probability they will not negotiate. They will escalate to maximum force to set an example for other colonies. Then we show everyone else, Yuna said, her voice hard. We broadcast it. Every colony, every ship on the local network. We let the Empire see its own failure, and we let our people see that they can fail. Min felt the plan forming. It was terrifying. It was like poking a giant with a very small, very strange stick. But it was all they had. Echo, can you do that? Can you block their attack and send the pictures to everyone? Yes, the ship said. The resonance buffer can be maintained. The colonial communication array can be used to broadcast on all Imperial public bands. However, neural synchronization must be higher for sustained defense. Current level is insufficient. Min turned and walked back up the ramp into the ship. Then we raise it. June, connect those power cells to whatever looks like a port. Yuna, Ji-hye, get inside. Now. They moved. June found a panel on the ship's side that opened to reveal glowing connectors. He hooked up the 3 big cells. Inside the ship, the lights brightened, and the hum grew deeper. Stronger. Min sat back in the pilot's chair. He took a deep breath. Yuna, Ji-hye, and June stood behind him, holding on to rails as the room seemed to become more alive. Connecting, Min said, and placed his hands on the panels. The feeling rushed back. But this time, it was stronger. With the extra power, the song of the ship was louder. He felt the 3 people behind him, their quick heartbeats like little drums. He felt the cold fear of the hundreds of colonists outside. And high above, he felt the angry, sharp vibrations of the Imperial fleet, tuning their weapons for a big attack. He did not fight it. He listened. He let the ship's senses become his senses. Neural synchronization, 67%. Optimal for defensive maneuvers. They are moving, Echo said. The main screen showed the Imperial ships. The big one in the middle, the command ship, was moving back. 5 smaller attack ships moved forward. Their weapons glowed with a dangerous light. They are going to hit the main habitat dome, Yuna said, her voice shaking. They are going to kill everyone at once. No, they are not, Min said. His voice sounded strange to him, calm and sure. It was the ship's calm, flowing through him. Echo, take us up. Put us between the colony and those ships. Acknowledged. The Mulsori did not roar like an Imperial ship. There was no blast of fire. The whole ship just vibrated. A deep, musical tone echoed through the hull. The walls of the hangar fell away below them as the ship rose straight up, smooth as water rising in a glass. In seconds, they were out in the open, under the black sky filled with stars and warships docked to the Imperial fleet. The Mulsori must have looked like a strange, lumpy piece of junk suddenly floating off the moon. Min could imagine them laughing. The 5 attack ships fired. Not 1 plasma bolt, but 20. A storm of blue fire shot down from the sky, aimed at the colony below. Resonance buffer at full capacity. Echo announced that the same shimmering wall of hexagonal light appeared. But this time, it was huge. It covered the entire colony below them, like a glowing umbrella. The plasma storm hit it. The sound was incredible. Not explosions, but a vast, discordant shriek of energy being unmade. Each bolt of plasma flared and spread across the honeycomb of light, its energy dissolving, being absorbed. The shield glowed brighter and brighter, drinking the fury of the attack. On the Imperial command ship, there would be confusion. Then anger. New energy signatures detected, Echo said. The screen showed the big command ship. Its main weapon, a long, heavy cannon, was glowing with a terrible red light. They are charging a primary planetary disruptor. Yield is sufficient to break the moon's crust. They were not playing anymore. They were going to destroy the whole moon, colony, ship, and all. Min's heart pounded. Can you stop that? The energy is orders of magnitude greater. Buffering will require precise frequency matching. Synchronization must be higher. Min closed his eyes. He let go of his own fear. He listened only to the song of the ship. He felt the awful, building scream of the disruptor charging. He heard the perfect, steady note of Echo's core. He tried to make them the same in his mind. Neural synchronization, 89%. The Imperial weapon fired. A thick beam of solid red light, as wide as a city street, lanced down from the command ship. It was meant to crack the world. Echo moved. It did not dodge. It flew directly into the path of the beam. The red light hit the center of the shimmering buffer. For a second, nothing happened. Then, the hexagons of light began to flash, faster and faster. The ship shook. The hum became a loud, straining whine. Min felt a pain in his head, like a bad headache. He was holding the frequency, but just barely. Energy at 98% absorption. Buffer stability failing. Echo reported, its voice still calm. On the screen, Min saw it. A few of the hexagons in the shield flickered and went dark. A tiny stream of red energy leaked through, striking a mountainside far below. The rock exploded into vapor. They were almost out of time. The ship was screaming. It was a sound of pure strain, a high-pitched whine that cut through the deep hum. Min felt it in his teeth, in his bones. The headache was a hot knife in his mind. On the screen, he watched more hexagons of light in the shield flicker and die. Another stream of the red disruptor beam sliced through, carving a deep, glowing canyon into the moon's surface below. Rock turned to molten glass and then to dust. Buffer integrity at 73%. Echo stated, its calm voice a stark contrast to the chaos. Contained energy exceeds storage capacity. Diverting to secondary systems. What does that mean? Yuna shouted, holding on to a rail as the ship trembled. It meant the Mulsori was filling up. It was like a cup under a waterfall. It could catch the energy, but it had nowhere to put it. Soon, it would overflow. Min's mind was linked with the ship. He felt the pressure building. He saw the solution in the ship's data, a path of cold logic. The energy had to go somewhere. It could not be destroyed. But it could be changed, given back. Echo, Min gasped, the words hard to form. Can you send it back? The energy is discordant. It is violence. To return, it would be to mimic their attack. It is not in my primary functions. We will mimic nothing, Ji-hye said suddenly. Her eyes were fixed on the scrolling data. She understood faster than the others. We don't send back their beam. We change the song. We take their noise, and we make it into our music. Then we give them the music. In the link, Min felt the ship consider this. It was a new idea. A human idea. Processing, Echo said. Proposal aligns with core protocol. Understanding, not replication. To return a corrected frequency is a form of communication. Do it. June yelled as another chunk of the shield failed. The beam was getting closer to the colony with every second. Min focused. He stopped trying to just hold the shield. He listened to the violent scream of the Imperial beam. He heard its frequency, its ugly, destructive tune. In his mind, with the ship's power, he began to change it. He smoothed the rough edges. He found the hidden harmonics within the chaos. He took the scream and he turned it into a single, clear, powerful note. The Mulzori's internal sound changed. The straining whine vanished. The deep hum returned, stronger than ever, joined by this new, pure tone. It was beautiful and terrifying. On the outside, the shimmering shield of hexagons did something new. It stopped just absorbing. The red beam hit it, and instead of flaring, it seemed to be swallowed and transformed. The shield began to glow from within, a bright, brilliant white. What's happening? Yuna whispered. It's tuning, Ji-hye said, a smile of pure wonder on her face. It's turning their weapon into a tuning fork. On the main screen, a targeting display appeared. It was not like an Imperial weapons lock. It showed the Imperial command ship, and around it, lines of vibration danced, showing the natural frequency of its hull, its engines, its very structure. Echo had listened. Now it understood. Empathetic resonance established, the ship announced. Returning corrected frequency. From the center of the Mulzori shield, a beam of white light lanced upward. It was not red. It was not hot. It was clean and bright, like concentrated moonlight. It struck the hull of the Imperial command ship. There was no explosion. No fire. No sound in the vacuum of space. The metal of the ship where the beam touched simply came apart. It did not melt. It did not shatter. It vibrated at such a perfect, precise frequency that every bond between every atom was persuaded to let go. The great warship silently dissolved from the point of impact outward, turning into a cloud of fine, gray, inert powder that drifted apart like ash. The terrible red beam from the ship winked out. The silence that followed was absolute. Inside the Mulzori, the four humans stared. The command ship, the flagship of the Fifth Fleet, was just gone, replaced by a dark, expanding stain of dust against the stars. June was the first to speak. His voice was a croak. Did we do that? We gave them back their energy, Min said, his own voice thin with shock. We just cleaned it up first. But it was not over. The remaining Imperial ships, the attack vessels, and support ships froze for a moment. Then, as one, they turned. All their weapons glowed again, not just the ones pointed at the moon, but at each other, at the Mulzori, a full frantic spread of fire. They were panicking. They were firing everything. A storm of plasma bolts, laser fire, and kinetic shells filled the space around the Mulzori. It was a blind, furious attack. Echo needed no command this time. The shield hummed back to life, now a perfect sphere around the prototype. The weapon's fire hit from all sides. Each impact was a flash of light on the hexagons, a burst of discordant noise that was instantly smoothed, absorbed, and added to the ship's growing power. Min watched the data flow. His mind was now one with the ship. He saw each attacking vessel not as shapes, but as songs. Each had a unique vibration, a unique flaw in its harmony. The Imperial ships were built for power, not for grace. Their songs were loud and ugly. They are all connected, Min said, understanding dawning. Their fleet battle network. They share targeting data. They are all singing the same terrible song. Then let's change the tune for all of them, Ji-Hye said, her eyes hard. On the screen, targeting lines snapped from the Mulsori to every single Imperial ship. Echo had analyzed them all during their first failed attack. It knew their frequencies. The white beam did not fire again. Instead, the Mulsori emitted a pulse. A single spherical wave of that pure, clean, white light expanded silently from the ship. It washed over the Imperial vessels like a wave of water. Where it touched, the same thing happened. The violent, attacking ships did not explode. They crumbled. They unraveled. Their aggressive shapes blurred and then dissipated into nothing more than clouds of harmless metallic dust. 5 ships. 10, 20. In less than a minute, the space around Anvil 7 was empty. The sharp, threatening shadows of the Imperial Fifth Fleet were gone. Only the stars remained, and a few expanding, glittering fields of gray ash that caught the distant sun's light. The Mulsori hung in the sudden quiet. The shield faded. The deep hum lowered to its gentle, background tone. Min slowly took his hands from the panels. The connection broke. He felt alone in his own head again, and very, very tired. He slumped back in the chair. No one spoke. They all just looked at the main screen, at the empty space where a fleet had been. They had not fought a battle. They had not won a war. They had simply listened. And then they had replied. The silence in the Mulsori was heavy. It was not a peaceful quiet. It was the quiet after a great noise, where the ears still ring. Min, Yuna, Ji-Hye, and June stared at the main screen. It showed the drifting fields of dust where the Imperial fleet had been. The stars beyond looked very clean and very cold. June finally moved. He slid down the wall to sit on the floor, his legs not holding him anymore. They're gone, he whispered. All of them. Yuna, always practical, was the first to think of the next problem. The Empire will see this. They will know one of their fleets just vanished. They will send more. Bigger ones. They will come for us. Min nodded slowly. His body ached from the strain of being linked to the ship. His mind felt raw. She's right, he said, his voice rough. We bought a minute, not a lifetime. Ji-Hye was still at the console, her fingers moving softly over the controls. Data streamed past. The ship recorded everything, she said. Every frequency, every moment. It also listened to their fleet communications before they ended. It has their command codes. It knows where their home sector is. It knows the location of Earth. That word hung in the air. Earth. It was not just a place in old stories. It was their home. A home under Imperial control, filled with people who were told they were weak, that their science was primitive. What do we do? June asked, looking from one face to another. We have this ship. We could run. We could find a place to hide. Min stood up. His legs felt weak, but he stood. He looked at the gentle, glowing lights of the ship. Echo, what is your primary order? Your first job? The ship's calm voice filled the room. To protect human life. To ensure its continuity and its freedom. Is running the best way to do that? Min asked. He was asking the ship, But he was also asking his friends. Analysis suggests flight has a 34% long-term success rate, Echo replied. The Empire will search. They will find traces. They will punish other colonies to find us. Hiding protects only those on board. And fighting? Yuna asked, though she looked afraid of the answer. Open conflict has a 2% success rate, Echo said. I am one ship. They are an empire. My function is not wholesale destruction. It is understanding and correction. The event that just occurred was a defensive correction. An aggressive campaign would be a different song. We don't fight them, Jihei said, an idea forming in her eyes. She turned from the console. We don't run from them either. We talk to them. And we talk to everyone else while we do it. She brought up a star map on the main screen. One light glowed softly Anvil 7. A nearby cluster of lights was the local Imperial sector capital. A thin, almost forgotten line led to a single, yellow star far away. Sol, Earth. The Empire controls the story, Jihei said. They say we are weak. They said this ship was a failure. They will say their fleet was lost to an accident, or to rebels they will then punish. They will never say the truth, that an old human prototype, using a science they forbade, listened to their violence and turned it to dust. So we tell the truth, Min said. Understanding. We show it, June corrected, a spark in his eyes. We send the recording, not on a secret channel, on every channel. The Imperial news feed, the colony alert bands, the public shipping lanes. We send what we saw. Yuna nodded slowly. A message. Not from rebels. Not from warriors. From engineers. From historians. From a forgotten ship. We show them what understanding can do. Min walked back to the pilot's chair. He did not sit. He placed his hand on it. Echo, can you do that? Can you send the sensor logs of what happened here? On all the channels you can reach? Yes, the ship said. The colonial array below is sufficient for a local broadcast. I can amplify it. It will reach 3 neighboring sectors within the hour. The Empire will attempt to block it, but the method of transmission can be persuasive. Do it, Min said. On the screen, a new window opened. It showed the recording from the Mulsori's point of view. The Imperial fleet's threats. The first plasma bolt hitting the shimmering shield. The massive red beam from the command ship. The transformation. The pulse of white light. The silent, stunning unraveling of 20 warships into dust. It was all there, clear and undeniable dot at the bottom. Jihei typed words. She did not write a long message. She chose 3 words in simple galactic script, the language every species in the Empire was forced to learn. Ready, she said. Min took a deep breath. Send it. A low, resonant tone pulsed from the ship. Down on the moon, the colony's communication tower glowed with an impossible light. The data, the video, the 3 words shot out into space. It was a different kind of wave, a ripple of truth. They watched the screen. For a few minutes, nothing. Then, Echo spoke. The broadcast is being received on the Imperial cargo freighter Light of Core, on the mining colony of Titanus Beta, on the Imperial outpost at Vega Station. Jamming attempts have begun, but are ineffective. The broadcast frequency is mimicking their own command carrier wave. It is using their own voice to speak. And then, something else. Incoming messages. Not from the Empire. They were from other places. A text-only line scrolled up. Source. Human habitat. Cronus Station. Message. Is this real? Another. Source. Free merchant vessel Star Skipper. Message. By the Void. You actually did it. Another. Source. Unknown. Encrypted. Message. The Echo has returned. They told us you were a myth. Min felt a chill that was not fear. It was something else. Hope. It was a fragile, dangerous feeling. The Empire will be coming, Una said again, but her voice was firmer now. I know, Min said. He looked at his friends. June, the clever young technician. Una, the tough manager. Jihei, the quiet historian. They were not soldiers. They were just people. He was just a mechanic, but they had a ship. A ship that did not want to fight, but knew how to speak in a way the universe had to hear. Echo, plot a course, Min said. Destination? Min looked at the star map. He looked at the thin line to the yellow star. He did not point to it. Not yet. That would be a different journey. Instead, he pointed to the Imperial sector capital, the heart of local control. There, he said. Take us right to their front door. Slowly. Let them see us coming. Keep broadcasting the message on repeat. Acknowledged, Echo said. The deep hum of the engines grew a little stronger. The ship began to move, turning away from the moon of Anvil 7. On the screen, the 3 words glowed beneath the looping video of the dissolving fleet. A simple statement. A promise. A warning sent out on a stolen Imperial frequency, now echoing across 100 stunned worlds. Earth is listening. The Mulzuri, Earth's forgotten prototype, moved toward the heart of the Empire. It did not move like a weapon. It moved like a question, and the whole galaxy was now waiting nervously for the answer.